She look like Halle Berry. Yeah. Shung IC, bitch. Okay. Young Wiz in a cut like AP. For the cameras, homie, I'm finna say cheese. Through the Golden Gate, homie, you fit a Bay Breeze. Stay clean in this bitch like Ajax. In the Buick with money, we blowing 8 grams. Say they love you, but why the fuck do they say that? Rap game, I don't even wanna play that. Say they love you, but don't even know what that means. They pretending to get it, we're good at acting. Stay depressed in the whip when I roll up. Going up, why the fuck you tell me to hold up? I remember we was whipping through the forest. That love we gave up, one for us. Going up, nice saying where the floor was. Tell me where was you at whenever the door shut? Tell me where was you at whenever the door shut? Know you remember those cold nights we stayed up, searching for work for somebody to pay us. Don't know where you is, I know you should stay up. Wish you the best, I'll keep you in my prayers. Yeah. When they talk about loving, I'm always left out. Make a call to my cousin, he had a westbound. Get the start in my oven, I'm finna bake now. Get the flow in the oven, I'm feeling great now. She look like Halle Berry.
Yeah. You already know who it is and who it be. It's Greg G, and this is the Greg G Chronicles. And that right there was, I want to say, Currency. Yup. Yeah, Currency by my cousin, Icy E. That's ICY dash E, featuring A Money. I'll put the fucking link to the song in the bio. Oh man, good song. I love that one. Don't just like it. I really do love that song. But you know, we're doing business out here, ladies and gentlemen. Trying to figure out what we're doing. Keep you up on the chronicles. Just had a good business talk with people. Some people did good, not as good as we did. But, I'm not just going to lie. It's tough out here. It's tough out here for a star, son. Let alone a struggling star, and let alone a nobody star. There's all these stars in the sky, but we don't know all of them. Yet they're all stars. We only know the ones that are in a group. The Big Dipper, Orion's Belt, hell, I guess the one you thought was a star, it's a comet. So, do we want to be stars or do we want to be comets? Hell, do we want to be solar systems, galaxies? It's just where you're going to find it and put the work. And I talk shit, a lot of big things, burning bridges, you know what I mean? I'll be talking mad shit. No, I don't care. Say it to my face, I'll say it to yours. If it's for real, then it's for real, it'll be bad, like.
Gonna fuck your shit. Gonna fuck your shit.
And that's for people for me and against me, or those that are on difference. You know what I mean? It is what it is. It's not anything that should be taken too deeply. If I'm saying it. It's just how it is as men or in the field of competition. But I will say this: a shout out to the people that are at least trying out there. I will do that. I will always give a shout out to the folks that are trying, even though they didn't find our success for the things we attempted. But sometimes we don't have the same success in attempting things that have been done, regardless for the people that have been set. And no one's humbled me or nothing. I just at least know the hard work it takes to do something. But still very lucky, very fortunate, very blessed. I always pray to God to say thank you for the people that bless me, which is my family, my children, Dios primos and primas, my grandparents, my mom, my dad, and my sister and shit like that, So that's always nice. But damn it does feel good sometimes when your opponent, at least who you feel in the game, doesn't do as good. And I'll leave it at that. And that's where it brings me to football, everybody. It's been a hell of a past weekend now for football now. When you guys get this, it will be tomorrow, today, technically Tuesday, January 20th, if I put it out. The football's been amazing. Honestly, we had the Texans and the Patriots gay. The Patriots won. Shout out to them, though. It all felt different, Hell, the most exciting game, we'll just say there was the 49ers and the Seahawks. The Seahawks stomped a mud hole in this, and yes, you guys, it's going to be, I don't know, it's going to be a sports one for a second. I'm just going to do a little what I do. This won't even be a full episode, so it won't even be numbered, but it's just going to be put out, you feel me? But how's this domination. So for the NFC championships, it's going to be the Los Angeles Rams and the Seattle Seahawks. The Los Angeles Rams did great. They put up a good performance against I can't even remember the team right now. I knew I was gonna forget one, but that's fine. It, it doesn't bother me as much as you think, because the honestly, the Broncos and the Bills was the most exciting game of them all, dude. They were letting them play. They were doing makeup calls for things that shouldn't have been called but were called, and the Broncos game was truly Broncos Bills was truly the best game so far that I've seen for the playoffs. In my heart of hearts, I felt like the Bills were gonna lose. I don't know why. I just felt it. I was like, damn, dude. I just feel like this is the Broncos one. They lost it last year. I was with my boy, but they brought it back. You know what I mean? They, against all odds, they brought it back. I don't even know about all odds, because now they're truly against the odds. Because son of a bitch, if the quarterback, their starting quarterback, their second year guy, breaks his ankle 3 plays before the game is over. Can you believe that shit? 3 plays before the game is over, the man breaks his gosh damn ankle. What a dumbass. And then now they got to go in with their second string quarterback, so they got to hope Jared Stidham pulls a Nick Foles and wins it for them. But only Foles wins bowls, well, a bowl at least. But Stidham, I don't know, man. Acquit him, Stidham. All of the glove known figure must acquit him, Stidham. That'd be a pretty great Cinderella story. However, I don't think it's gonna happen. Now, on other news, though, for a Cinderella story, the Indiana fucking Buckhawks pitchfork ass motherfuckers for their logos, the Indiana somethings, they won the national championship in spectacular fashion, up by a touchdown or a drive, like maybe 6 points. A touchdown would have sealed their fate. However, though, Indiana, who no one thought to do anything at the beginning of the season. No one, come on now, Indiana, out of everybody, who knew that they would be the ones to go 16-0, perfect season, and win the national championships. And shout out to Fernando Mendoza. Shout out to both teams, but mainly the Indiana somethings, But shout out Fernando Mendoza. That was incredible. This guy made a touchdown play to take the lead, dude, or to solidify the lead for 10 points. And he was a quarterback drawing away, and the coach talked about how they switched up the scheme and the blocking, and the boy ran. That guy ran. He fucking hit this fucking hole. Fucking ese pinche Fernando got hit. Pow, lo pegó in that fucking hip and el ribbe and the fucking rodillas. They hit him in the fucking shoulder, in the elbow, in the weenus. Goddamn it, in the part right here. But he powered through, dude, and pushed, and somehow didn't go down and score a touchdown. It was incredible. The U did put up a great play the next drive, but still, you know what though? They didn't do enough, because the Hurricanes or whatever, they threw a pick of the last drive, and it was very stunning, shocking to say the least, how easily that went. And it was one of those plays where the ball was in the air for too long and could have gone either way. Maybe the corner could have got too happy and missed it by half a second, and it fell into the receiver's arms, and the receiver scores a touchdown. But nah, it was just easy pick. It was actually an easy pick. Again, even they explained it like, yo, yeah, the corner had safety help over the top. Corner was able to just sit back and slow down a little bit to really get eyes on the ball where it's going, really freaking track that thing, and it was pretty sweet. But nonetheless, though, trying to be a star out here in the Boise, Idaho scene has had its setbacks, Tried to do some open stand-up comedy stuff, didn't go through. Oh well, And that's where our success doesn't match sometimes some other comics' success, and we can do our little groups or whatever, which is what it is, Again, I talked to my boy, and I got to work on not burning bridges or talking shit, but it's what I do, baby. That's what I do. And he'll do the same, but an olive branch must be extended to the people, whether in person or through this podcast if they see it. But I don't know if anyone cares. You know what I'm saying? But definitely though we may have not had success doing our open mic thing, but definitely on our ventures for hosting and performing true shows, those do pan out a bit more. So, we just gotta, maybe we can all work together, do like a cartel type thing, a comedy cartel of some sorts, to where we can all use our strengths and things like that to bolster each other's resumes. Because again, you can be in it 5, 10, 15 years, 2 days, 3 days. But if something goes viral, you know, then you just blow up. You know what I'm saying? Hawk Tua was a bitch just fucking walking through talking about how she could suck some dick and spit on that thing, and she don't really do nothing like that. She seems like a sweet, wholesome gal. Maybe for her husband, I don't know, but she don't sound like that woman. But you just never know what could happen. So, anyways, though, to everybody showing up and showing out, I did have a controversial take earlier about how Cuba Gooding Jr., the girl, something good, should have stayed out the way. She should have stayed out the way. That's fucking fuck around and find out you get shot, which sucks. She shouldn't have got shot. Everyone can always agree that she shouldn't have lost her life. But Charlie Kirk probably shouldn't have said some crazy shit, but yet people still agree that maybe he shouldn't have get shot over it. You know what I'm saying? Some people could fall on both lines where they say, yes, you should, or yes, you shouldn't. But I'm always on the side of life, you know. However, though, you see where one is more of a martyr than the other. I'm going to say Charlie, I think, was more of a martyr than the Elizabeth Good. Elizabeth Good, I don't know. But, and I'm not trying to forget her name or demeanor on purpose, but Miss Good, I don't know. But definitely shouldn't have died. No one should die. Had a big old argument at that during the bar about that shit. Some dude bumped his head and bumped into our conversation where he should have minded his own business. But oh well. I'll probably release what I originally said on the next episode. So yeah, boom. I just felt like I had to delete it because I didn't really listen to it, and I was already faded starting it. But I also felt like I was being very repetitive and redundant with it, so I was like, scratch it. On the other hand, now is working on jokes. I need to get back into joke writing. I wrote down a little bit of stuff. Obviously, I've said this before, working with men, a lot of homophobia, but a lot of homosexual advances as well. What up? The guy's fucking gay. He's a fucking bleh. Oh, but damn, look at that sweet ass you got, motherfucker. Damn, you look fine. And it's like, all right, thank you. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah. There's a guy. Oh, yeah. That's the guy where we call shit hands, but he washes his hands now. Okay, I already talked about the humans committing infanticide. That's a little bit of a dark joke. Then it's wanting to be a hero in moments of crisis. That's a man thing, but then you got to figure out what hero are you? Are you the hero like Jimmy who fucking, at the last second people were like, oh no, we don't have the hot dog buns. And then Jimmy was like, no, I saw that everyone forgot him, but I ran back in to take a piss or something. I saw him, so I brought him. And they're like, yeah, Jimmy's the hero. You saved the fucking day. Or are you like, oh, there's a lady out there screaming for help in the bar or out in the street. She runs into a bar and you're like, all right, I hear you. I'm going to go help. Only to not do shit. Now, I've been in both of those situations. And I will just say this. I prefer to be the Jimmy hero versus the hero of that other segment and then end up not doing shit. Because it's like, now I got to call the cops. Oh, no. But, yeah. So there's that. I'm a woman and I'm in need of assistance. Some men want to be a hero for justice, a real save the day asshole. I've been in both situations and found out that I'm more of a Jimmy type of hero. Yeah, exactly. I'm getting the hot dogs and the buns when everyone forgets it. And they're like, Greg G brought the fucking Keystones. At least he's a fucking hero. Blah. You know, that's the kind of hero I'm going for. I ain't trying to be a fucking John Wick. I want to be, but I just had to fucking maybe find the truth and within myself and be like, yo, I'm not that hero, dude. I'm not no Enrique freaking Iglesias. I'm not gonna be doing that. One thing too, me and my boy, we were talking about doing Harlem Nights, like a night, or doing our stand up, but it was like Harlem Nights of comedy. And now Harlem Nights is a classic black movie with Eddie Murphy and Richard Pryor, Red Fox. I think Lunell is in there. A lot of classic black comedians. I think even Red Grant might be in. Nah, Red Grant is too young, I think, but who knows? Too young, even though he's older than me, but still too young, maybe for that crew or that time. But I don't know. But I was like, that's funny. We should have a movie night where we specifically do in humor comedy to tailor to that movie. You know what I mean? So it's like, all right, you can only make Harlem Night type jokes or and I was like, fuck, dude, we're just be quoting movie parts to each other like bros and shit, which is still great. That's always funny, dude. But I was like, all right, man, that'd be pretty funny to just have specific, only tied in jokes or references to the movie. So, your set at least has to have a reference or a joke involving that movie. Hell, we can even make it harder and it has to be all set, all jokes, all references to that movie. Hell, you might as well just quote the goddamn movie while you're going, But Dom Soy to everybody out here, and I will say thank you, and a big ass Salimis. But one thing we're out here doing is definitely figuring out the ways of business. Talked to one of the owners of the club, and we were honestly on a 2-drink minimum, and we just tried to figure that out because honestly, I just wanted to know the business. I mean, I like the guy personally, and maybe but I don't know. It's tough when you want to talk business, but you like the people, so you don't know. Do we talk pleasures first and then business, but then business first and then pleasure? So it's always an awkward situation, But shout out to my boy too. It's nice to have a good partner in business because he handled the questions very well and brought up his own. But I handled mine and said mine and my piece. But yeah, 2-drink minimum was a very interesting thing. I didn't know how that was going to affect ticket prices or how we wanted to roll with that. Also, just being realistic, being not greedy, and being realistic with who we all are as people and who we are in the comedy scene. Now, my friend and I are very good at marketing. We do what we need to do, but yet we're somebodies, but yet we're nobodies. You know what I mean? You have to be realistic with yourself, and then also the grand delusions of being famous and wanting to be the man does get in the way, because me and my boy both feel like we could be the man. I'm more humble with him. My boy is very braggadocious, and of course he should be. He's a great comedian, actually. So it's like I totally understand. But the thing is that we got to find the right price point. You know what I mean? Find the right price point to facilitate the amount of people we want there and the money we need to make. And you can't get cocky again. Doesn't matter how long we've been doing this for. It doesn't matter how anything or what. It's all about the timing and things like that, and just knowing how to market and play to your strengths. Now, I'm not going to reveal everything we've done or the business that was talked about, but I knew what I needed to ask, and I knew the dates and the times that I liked, from being a business management perspective and just doing things and running things and being a human being. and just being dope as fuck, honestly. Just, just being dope as fuck at what I used to do and being out there, just getting in there grinding. I hope to maybe we can actually have other podcasters on. I would like to have my boys on. I would like to have my boy Danger Mark on here. I'd like to have my boy. I think those are it. That's it. Oh, well, my boy Dirty Ryan. Dirty Ryan's amazing. I would love to have him on. And then they're not my boys yet or anything like that, but I would still like to have single serving Steve on here. I would like to have the full Dan on here. Which I'm cool with both of them, but I mean, uh, I don't know. I don't know. It'd be nice to have them on. Things like that of that nature. You know, you guys have heard me talk shit on other comedians and everything like that. That's fine. It is what it is, right? Do I take it back? No. Am I the best comedian? No. But am I confident? Yes. Am I charming? Yeah, I'm pretty charming. Am I cute? I'm pretty handsome, actually. I'm not cute. I'm just ruggedly handsome. That's the thing. I'm not adorable. I'm ruggedly handsome. So I'm a Mexican 10, an average American 6.87. Yeah. Arrogant as fuck. Even then, I could just say I'm a 10, but I'm not that. I'm trying to be bashful and humble in this bitch. But nonetheless, though, we are still doing a business and we're still not struggling, but finding our niche and definitely having success while also trying to make success for the guys we put on, because it can't just be about us. If we want to own a business, it must be done right. And yeah, from there, it's just let's figure it out, Let's figure it out. Let's find a way to get through to people. Let's find a way to make jokes. Let's find a way to where it's not overly offensive, but offensive enough. That fine line. I talk about the fine line, A story is a story that you can tell with your friends that's funny. And then everyone makes jokes about that story in the story, which also makes it funny, which is why we all think it's a funny story. It's not always just you telling the story, it's the people adding into the story, joking around, making jokes, But when it comes to stand-up comedy, now you have to tell the story, but also find the funny and make the jokes, versus just your friends. You telling the story and your friends like, yeah, and then that's when you shit your pants. No, fucker, I didn't shit my pants, but everyone's like, oh, yeah, you shit your pants, dude. That's what we're gonna say now from the story. You shit your pants, But it's just fun. Got to find the right line. Definitely got to tell more jokey jokes. Again, so yeah, it's fun. It's interesting. I am definitely appreciative of the path that we're going on. And I'm excited too for giving up stuff. I'm going to be giving up stuff. Well, honestly, and I wonder how. Honestly, I'll tell you guys that right now. I'm going to be giving up alcohol, saying the N word with the soft day, maybe masturbation for Lent, So I got until like February 18th or some shit like that. So alcohol, masturbation, and saying the N word with the soft A. You know what I mean? I'm going to try giving up three things instead of one, which is just liquor or alcohol in general, I didn't do it last year. I did it the year before, but this year I feel like, man, you know what? Maybe I can do it, Maybe I can, not maybe I can do it. I just want to do it, like, hey, because then it might lead it to longer. I have done that. And then on Easter, might as well have a drink. Fuck it. It is what it is. I'm my own person. I decide. But it's also a test to see if I can do anything funny within that month of just being sober podcasting. Just still spew what I want to spew, be honest, be open, and not need drink to do it, I do think I'm still pretty witty and funny even without drinking. Very true. I just need to get used to that, You just need to get used to it, because when you're a person that has addictions in life, or you have families that have addictions, and then you're just a part of it, and any trauma you might go through, I don't fucking know, but definitely to see who you are without it is different. I did know that football wasn't the same. UFC and WWE wasn't the same without the drink. Still, I'd watch it. But yeah, And then now I need to see where my other addictions are going to lead me to. Am I going to do more mushrooms? Am I going to start smoking marijuana more? Am I not? And then, yeah, just do more psychedelics, cocaine. But I don't see that one in my future. But mainly psychedelics, I would see, like mushrooms and shit. Definitely playing a bigger role in my life. What? Addiction. I'm addicted to the business too. And I'm excited to try to get out there again for open mics and really practice some stuff. That's one thing that has been bothering me, dude. And I don't know if people know this, but doing what I want to do and pursuing my dreams puts a toll on my marriage. You know, it does. If I'm gonna go out on a weekend, I mean, yeah, I'm here all the time, but then I'm not, and it does put a toll. You know, just how much can this fucking branch of family bend but not break? And that's me finding that balance. Um, yeah. So I'm hoping within the next month or so, I'm gonna try to find a balance. I am gonna try to go to more open mics, but I'm gonna see how I can make things different, because I'm not gonna be gone on the weekends or anything like that. Or I don't know, whatever the day hits for an open mic. I truly don't know what the days are. But to be out there on stage to work on my craft, to know that even if I'm not here, that if I'm working for something, it's gonna benefit my family hopefully in the long run. And that's one thing. I'm not doing this for myself. Can't say it's not for myself. It is for myself, but it's also for, to prove to my family that what I'm doing is right. Whether it be my mom, my dad, mainly my wife and my children. To show that, hey, yo, daddy's gone for these long nights or having these meetings. Yeah, I'm drinking. Yeah, I'm having fun, but it's to further our thing, further our family, hopefully in the hopes of something, and yeah, show my kids. And I've said this before, that daddy had a dream and daddy wanted to pursue it, and daddy's gonna do what it needs to, what's gonna, he's gonna do what needs to be done. You know, and then I'm not afraid to call it quits when it is a time. I don't want to be an old legend who's still a fucking nobody somehow. No shots at anybody. It just happens. But that is the tough part, where you're an old legend, but you still do it because you love it. You still want to get on stage. You still want to give it a shot. Because again, I say 2 Chainz didn't find true fame until he became 2 Chainz and wasn't Titty Boy anymore. And then he got fucking I'm Different. I feel like I'm Different was a real one that put him on the map. You know, then me and my cousins would hear all of his more earlier work, and then later on keep up with them. But I fuck with 2 Chainz more as 2 Chainz, and Titty Boy is Titty Boy. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's the thing about a dream and taking a shot. You never know when your shot's gonna happen. So yeah, it's exciting. It is exciting. Not the funniest podcast, but still, fuck, dude. I don't know. Shit, I've been watching shit. Let me just pull up the old YouTube. Let me actually see what's on my Sharks. Yeah, dude, I've just been watching Sharks, trying to fucking figure it out. Trying to get this new podcast, the A and G. Please go check out the A and G podcast. A ampersand G podcast. A and G podcast. I'll put the links just in the description below, or just the links to my cousin's song and the new podcast. Hopefully, hopefully, because yeah, dude, we got something good going there, and I do really enjoy that podcast. It's very fun. The first one was politics, and then the second one was more about life, growing up, self hatred between our own races, um, truth and honesty about what people in their own race think about their races. You know what I mean? White dude said, "Oh yeah, man. Well, why don't you?" White dude, Dave. Shout out Dave. That's our Dave. He was like, "I'm coming over here to your guys' black neighborhood, and on the I'm coming over here to your guys' neighborhoods, black neighborhoods. It was old school times." And he's like, "But you guys got plumbers, gardeners, electricians, and you got anyone who can do the same fucking job that I do. You got them here. No offense, but like, why aren't you hiring them?" And black owner of said business or whatever was like, "Well, to be honest, if I hire them, they're gonna steal shit. They're gonna want shit. Shit's gonna go up missing." And I was like, "Oh man, that's crazy." So every race, or maybe, yeah, every race takes their turn with self hatred, or maybe just every race hates themselves in a way, you know. But it was very interesting, very good conversations. I even sneak in some good dick jokes in there, you know what I mean? Just because it's like, why not, dude? I need to make it funny for myself, make it funny for the audience. It can't always be serious, but we need to enjoy some stuff, And it's a good podcast. It's very solid. The A&G podcast on YouTube. So I'm excited for that. And if we can make Old Man Dave a check, that'd be nice. That'd be nice, if, honestly, for Old Man Dave. If don't do it for us, do it for Old Man Dave. Do it for Sweetheart Man, dude. He's honestly a good dude. Uh, Cares about people, black, white, Asian, Mexican, whatever fucking race or creed. He's like, "Oh, I care. He's not young, he's older, and he's fine. He's a different man he found himself to be in life. I don't know. I don't want to speak for him on everything, but yeah, he's a cool dude. I'll just say that. But yeah, to keep you up on what the Chronicle is doing, the Chroniclist. And shout out to all the Gia's Chroniclists in the world, dude. Just keep hustling, keep fucking grinding. Yeah, shit. My sister-in-law, my little sister, she just stabbed me in the ass with the goddamn tablet. I wanted to punch her right in her fucking leg. I don't. I was gonna punch her in the fucking leg, right in the ass cheek, dude. I don't give a fuck, dude. I was gonna blow her shit. I just whack. I was gonna punch the shit out of her, dude. I didn't, because I would have felt very bad, because I would have broken her fucking leg, and then she wouldn't have been able to go to work, and then that's less money income to me and the house and the casa. That's, but girl, bless her sweetheart, she said she'd buy me a fucking couple cut waters. I'm gonna make her buy me a cheap bottle of bourbon though. I ain't gonna charge her $30 for no fucking bullet or bouillet, but bullet. But definitely she can buy me a fucking tiny bottle or average bottle of fucking Evan Williams, and that's the gospel truth. Your boy's gonna get a little drinky drink somewhere, and so yeah. Now the main thing is just to figure out what we're gonna name our next show. Jokes, still come up with jokes. Got to figure out something that's not. I don't know. I was talking about jacking off and masturbation in a way, and it's like, let me see what I wrote down right here. Let me see what I wrote down for my little masturbation joke. Because the nature of man is to masturbate, and even Dave, the old man, said, "I still jack off or I masturbate." I don't know how he wanted to say, but yeah. Hold on. Dom Soy. That's good. All right. That's not right. Hold on. I like extraordinary people like Trump and Hunter Biden. Very true, very true. Both on the list. Oh my God. All my niggas I like are on the list. It's fine. It's not. Lent day, so, soft day all day. Okay, hold on. It's a common thing for men to generally masturbate. I'm still able to do that and put it down with my wife, and I'm able to do it every day if I so choose. My wife asks me, when do I find the time to do this? And I'm like, when did Jesus find the time to die? Shit just happens. So I like that, Like, I don't know, you just never plan for it. You just, sometimes you do. Sometimes you're like, oh man, dude, I'm hankering for a good jack and I'm gonna get this shit after work. But then sometimes it's like, man, I didn't even plan on doing this, and here I am. It's just like you're, in the movie when you're making out with a hot chick or your wife or whatever, right? When you regain love, or you just love your wife on this. I don't know. I don't want to make it, but you're making out with your wife. It sounds gay to just say that when you want to have fun with your wife and you're just making out and you're having a good time. It's just, I don't know why I have to go through the extra go around, but it's nice. So when you're just having a good time and you're passionate, you're like, well, where the fuck did this come out of nowhere? Now we're about to fuck. What? You know? Shit just happens. So, I like that part about it. Like, what do you think? You think I just planned this shit? You think Jesus just planned to die on the cross for our sins? It's mainly the joke. But another one is a good hangover jack session really helps relieve and release the demons. It's like 30% of that hangover goes out in one foul swoop. More like a couple foul pools. Foul tugs, if you'd like to say. But, okay, you know what? Maybe I'll just take that out. But it's like the hangover goes out in one fell swoop. Ladies, I'm just asking, do you ever do a nice, good hangover flick? A little hungover bean flicking to really squirt out all that hangover juice. So that's one thing, which might be a little bit too much. You know what I mean? But if you say cutesy footsy, it's not what you say; it's how you say it. You know what I mean? What's up? I thought we were brothers. Come on now, lady, don't lie to me. I know you like to get a little flickle tickle. The flickle tickle might make them laugh. The flickle tickle, but so that's what I got at least for some bullshit. And yeah, man, talk about hating on Bad Bunny. I'm definitely gonna talk about the women terrorists who can complete shit. But other than that, I've been enjoying Vanderpump Rules too. By the way, we're back on that, baby. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, where I'm at right now, so I can at least cut this if I do so choose. Vanderpump Rules. Now, Vanderpump Rules is very interesting. We got a whole new cast and crew. There's no one here that's the same other than. Nope, nobody's the same. I don't know anybody from this whole crew. Everyone's new. They still got Peter, though. He's the main manager. He's in the background, still fucking bitches like a G in the back, looking dumb as shit with his hair. But, yeah, he's still silently fucking bitches in the back. He fucked Katie. He fucked another bitch. He fucked some bitches all in the back, So it's like, all right, giving back shots while being in the background is a fucking background pimp, So I thought that was pretty cool. Now then, let's go to bed properly. Let's go to bed. I think Vanderpump Rules is one of the greatest shows I've ever seen in my life, especially the earlier seasons from 1 through 11. Season 12, very interesting, very fun. Still hating the people, but loving and finding out who we like. Aubrey, I think is her name. Lovely white girl. I think that's so far the fan favorite. I would like to at least think she's just out there holding a beer in the background, making faces, having a good time. Looks like a slut, but is not a slut. Not even looks like a slut. She just dresses like LA casual slut, but she's not. She's actually a good down to earth girl. I haven't seen anything from her that had made me think, wow, not the person to fuck with. There's an Angelica or Angelina. gone, slut, narcissistic, doesn't care about anything. There's another girl who you think is cool because she trips and falls, and she's like, oh, miscongeniality type shit, I guess you would say, but not a miscongeniality type shit. Liar, fake bitch, spreading lies about a man with a penis pump. So what? The man's got a penis pump. I've never personally used the thing, but I mean, I've seen it on movies. My wife says Austin Powers. I say, well, obviously Austin Powers. I've seen it, but what's that one movie? Oh my god, Deuce Bigelow, European Gigolo, when the dude gets his penis pump and he pops his dick, But personally, no, never used it, never thought of it, never, I actually forgot about those until now. My wife said she's gonna buy me one just to see, and she wants to buy me like a bunch of random shits to use. I gotta, I saw this commercial or this fucking thing about like a dude. It was like a balloon, and it has that little weird butthole looking thing. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. You blow up a balloon, and at the other side of the bottom or whatever, it has like a butthole looking shit. It looked like wrinkles, and they were just got toilet paper and they were wiping, and they're like, no, there's still shit on the wrinkles. But then they used the bidet, and I was like, huh. My wife's gonna get me a penis pump to try and talk about it on my show. I might as well get a bidet too. If I'm gonna do one end, might as well do the other and see. Shit, I might just leave with the fucking gigantic throbber and a clean butthole. So it doesn't sound like a bad. Doesn't sound like a lose lose to me. You know what I mean? It must be a win win. You mean I got a clean anus and an extra strong heart on? I was like, all right, that sounds pretty interesting. Could you imagine using a penis pump and a bidet at the same time? Jesus Christ, it's doing too much. I ain't trying to jizz inside my penis pump. That's only for the Chronicles. I ain't gonna say that shit on stage. Again, I'm charming enough to do it, but no, it doesn't make sense. Anyways, though, you guys, I'm gonna head out. Did enjoy you guys. Much love. I'm gonna release the other more controversial tape in a minute. I'm gonna rehear it and then blah blah blah. Do my thing. Yada yada yada. But to that and everybody, fuck that. That's a fucking stupid drink. What the fuck? What am I, a fucking pussy? No, you want the Aladdin news or the Aladdin news?
Do you want the Aladdin news or the Aladdin news?
I love it. Alright, yeah, I'm gonna get some blood work done, check my liver and kidneys and all that shit. Let's see. But anyways, for now though, Dom Soy.